Macee Carson is with us today. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great, I think. I'm never sure how I'm doing, but I think I'm doing okay. Now, you have a new book which is called Autumn's Fire. It's your first novel. What's the book about, first of all?
The book is about basically this meadow elf named Autumn,
Mm.
who is a recluse for most of her life, but then everything changes when she meets this wood elf named Creel from a neighboring village.
Oh,
And he teaches her about his culture, the forest that he's from, and maybe a budding romance.
mm.
And the book is about their friendship.
Nice. How long did it take you to come up with the idea for it?
It took me about a year of planning to really get everything down on paper.
Mm.
Um, of what I wanted to do, but originally the character was a role play character that
Ooh.
I had created, and I took that backstory and made it into the book.
That's quite interesting. So, when you write a book, how do you actually get into that mindset and focus on it?
Um, Sometimes I have to force myself
Yeah.
to just jump into it. It's a lot of just staring at the page and going over what's already happened in my head. Uh, but for the most part, uh, encouragement from my friends and from my boyfriend and stuff like that
Yeah.
helps a lot as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also suffer from fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. How does that affect your writing? Does it?
Yes, it does.
Hmm.
So since I got sick, I've had trouble with brain fog, and that definitely has an impact on my writing. Sometimes if I can get any words down, it's usually only about 100, maybe 500 if I'm real lucky,
Yeah.
in the moments that I'm suffering from it. Um, but other days that I struggle from it, I can't write at all.
Yeah, that must be quite annoying. Do you ever have a deadline that you're working towards and then you have days like that and you just can't do it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But like I generally set myself like word goals for a day.
Yeah.
And when that happens, I'll just tack it onto the next day's word goal.
Yeah.
And I can't always meet that goal, which is fine, but it is definitely frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have any other authors that you enjoy reading their books and have kind of inspired you to start writing?
Um, Authors, I tend to not actually read very much.
Oh,
I read for college and
yeah.
for very rarely for enjoyment. I think my favorite author would probably be Marcus Zuzik.
Hmm.
He wrote The Book Thief,
Oh,
and that has been my favorite book since it came out.
yeah. I remember watching the Book Thief movie. I thought it was going to be some sort of heist movie where someone was on the run, but I guess it was more to do with World War Two than actually stealing books.
Yeah, I never actually watched the movie
Oh no.
because I have the book on such a high pedestal that I don't
Yeah.
want the movie to ruin it for me.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it did quite well, that film, so it's probably quite good.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't want to ruin it for you. You don't blame me if you watch it and it's all ruined.
Okay.
Do you have a sequel for this book planned in any way, or?
Yes, it is written already.
Ooh, that's exciting. Where do
Yeah.
the characters go in the next book if you're able to reveal so much so far?
Oh, so Autumn wakes up in her new body,
Oh.
in her new life, and she uh, essentially has to come to terms with the fact that she no longer has emotions and
Hmm.
no longer has any memories.
Oh.
And she travels around with her new friend Joe while trying to come to terms with everything.
Oh, interesting. Looking forward to that. Do you spend your whole-time writing, or do you have other things that you like to get up to?
I do college.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to become an English teacher.
Oh.
The high school English teacher.
Mm.
And I also play video games, I listen to podcasts, I watch anime, I sew on occasion, that sort of stuff.
That's nice. It's quite a good path to take, high school teaching. Is that something that you would really enjoy?
Yeah, I love teaching. It's another one of my passions.
Yeah. It's probably really good to have an English teacher that's actually written a couple books themselves, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll know exactly what makes a good writer.
What makes a good writer? I'd say probably passion for their story. Because if they have passion for the story and the characters, then you can usually see that in their writing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have anyone in your family also that's kind of been involved in writing in any way that's inspired you, or even just encouraged you to keep writing?
My sister growing up did a lot of writing, and I think that was definitely a influence on me because I always wanted to be as good as her, because in my mind she was like the best writer when I was a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've mentioned the sequel already for this book, but do you have any plans to write any other unconnected books as well?
I have about, I think, 10 books on the back burner right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. Are you working on one at a time, or?
Yeah, one at a time.
So I guess that's going to be quite a few years before we see them all released.
Yeah, no, probably many years, but I'm gonna keep chugging along.
Yeah. Do you feel like they will all be released? Because sometimes, I suppose, it's a kind of trial and error thing with books. Are you confident about these ones?
Yeah, there are one or two that I might not put out in book form. It might be a short story, like that I put on Wattpad or something like that. But for the most part, I'm pretty confident in all of them.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, before all those books come out, where are we able to find the book that you have released, Autumn's Fire?
So you can get the ebook, paper copy, or the audiobook on my website, maceecarson.com. That's MACEE Carson, CARSON.com.
Okay. And are you on social media as well for us to keep up with your life and dates on when new books will come out?
Yeah. So I'm on TikTok at mmcarson78, or you can find me on Twitter at Dr. Blanket.
Nice. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show today. It's been great talking to you all about the books.
Yeah, it's been good talking to you too.